Stephen R. Shue is the County Executive of Anne Arundel County and a former member of the Maryland House of Delegates, serving 2 terms in the Maryland General Assembly representing District 31. He is a lifelong Anne Arundel County resident and was elected county executive in 2014. He spearheaded several key initiatives to improve the quality of life for all residents of Anne Arundel County. I would like to introduce our county executive, Stephen R. Shue.
Good afternoon, Annapolis. What a wonderful day. It's an honor to be here with you as we celebrate the smooth transition of governmental authority here in our great city. The city and the county share a lot of challenges, a lot of common problems: impaired waterways, traffic, development, school crowding, and most of all, heroin and gangs. We've made real progress over the past 3 years in addressing those issues, and I'm pleased to report that Mayor-elect Buckley and I are 100% committed to strengthening the already strong working relationship between our 2 jurisdictions. Annapolis citizens are Anne Arundel County citizens. We all walk the same streets, drive the same roads, and want to improve the quality of life in this city. Our environmental, development, and educational and public safety challenges are shared challenges that require shared solutions. Gavin and I both have a strong desire to see this incredible city reach its full potential. We've gotten to know each other really well over the last 2 years. We're friends, and we stayed in regular communication throughout the campaign and election season. And in fact, we've already had our first official meeting to discuss pressing issues of public safety that we're determined to work arm in arm together to address. Gavin is an American success story. I'm so glad to see an official delegation from Australia here. That's wonderful. Really cool. He has a new and exciting vision for Annapolis as a center of commerce, a mecca of creativity in the arts, a place where people can honor the past and embrace the future. I look forward to working with his partner to make his vision a reality so that our 2 jurisdictions can achieve their shared destiny. There's no limit to what our county and city can do by working together, and I look forward to the path ahead. Thank you again for being here, and congratulations, Gavin and our alderman-elect.
And suddenly, you know, it's time to start something new and trust in the magic of new beginnings. So that's our entree, somewhat midway through these proceedings. How is everyone? Right? Everyone's okay? We have a beautiful day. There's no rain or snow. They're like, yep. So our next speaker, Boyd Kevin Rutherford, is the 9th and current Lieutenant Governor of the state of Maryland. He's been serving since January 21st, 2015. He is also a fellow product of Howard University, located just a few miles down the road from where we stand today. I would like to introduce our current Lieutenant Governor, Boyd Kevin Rutherford.
Another Howard man. Good afternoon. I had a long commute over here. A lot of traffic that the county executive was talking about, just people bustling around. But it's great to be here. It's always an honor, and particularly on this important day, to recognize the change of government in the city of Annapolis. Maryland, and for our nation, Annapolis has always been a revered and sacred place where great things have begun and where great women and men have served and where great things have been accomplished. I have the distinct honor of serving in our historic State House here, which played a pivotal role in the birth of this great nation, where George Washington, General George Washington, resigned his commission to the Continental Forces, where the Revolutionary War was officially ended with the ratification of the Treaty of Paris in 1784. For so many generations, this historic city has been a point of pride for our state. And I have no doubt that Mayor Buckley will be a fierce advocate for the people of this community and will work tirelessly to preserve the great heritage of our state's capital city. Maryland will always be stronger when our state and local leaders work together. When we agree to put aside partisanship and other differences in order to do the right thing for the people that we represent, we all succeed. This afternoon, I'm very hopeful about the future because I know Mayor Buckley and all of us have a shared vision for Annapolis. We want to foster a pro-jobs economic climate here and a better and safer community. As elected leaders, together, we have a shared purpose and a shared commitment. And I could not be more confident that under his leadership and the strong partnership between the governor's office and the city of Annapolis, that we can continue working to have a better Annapolis and a better Maryland for all of us. Thank you very much.
We have new guests that have joined us on stage, and I'd like to acknowledge them. Mayor Josh Cohen, Comptroller Peter Francho, Mrs. Myrna Carden, representing Senator Ben Carden. Our next speaker almost requires no introduction. It's not me. He attended St. Mary's High School just down the hill, and then went on to attend Temple University in Philadelphia. He was a gifted athlete and was also pursued by the NFL as a running back. In 1986, he was elected to the House of Delegates. At the beginning of the 2003 session, he was elected by his colleagues Speaker of the House. He also serves as a mentor and an elder statesman to countless policymakers and civil servants. I present to you Speaker Mike Bush.
You're welcome. Thank you. All right. Great day today. I'm humbled to be here and thankful that I was asked to say a few words by the Mayor-elect Gavin Buckley. And I, first of all, want to thank you and congratulate you for your achievement of becoming the next mayor of the city of Annapolis. I want to also acknowledge all the aldermen who will take place at their positions as members of the city council. You know, it's amazing. The older you get, the better an athlete you were. You know, if I last another 10 years, I'll probably be in an NFL Hall of Fame. But I never was as good as you're made out to be today. But let me just say this. I've had the great privilege of representing the city of Annapolis for 32 years now. and it's been a passion of mine to make the city of Annapolis, to make it the best place anyone can live, work, and play, to borrow a saying from the county executive. But today, as we inaugurate the new mayor, we give them the mantle of taking us into the next 4 years with innovation and enthusiasm and energy, which certainly Mayor Buckley brings to the table. But I want everyone to remember, as the Lieutenant Governor said, the great heritage we have here. This morning this afternoon we're in the shadow of the oldest capital in the United States of America that still has its legislative leaders meet every year. The office that the Lieutenant Governor sits in today was Thomas Jefferson's office when he was the ambassador to France. Right down at the Mann Tavern, Hamilton and Madison met to draw up the guidelines for the Constitution of the United States of America. And George Washington made the most magnanimous decision in American history by giving up the head of the army to be a private citizen and let representative democracy take place. It is a city and a capital like no other in the United States of America. And I've traveled quite a bit across the country, but nothing compares to Annapolis for a city of its size. You combine not only the history here, but also the great arts. We are key to the arts. We were known once as the Athens of the New World. And that's a tradition we continue, and I know Gavin feels very strongly about it, and so does the City Council. We were also blessed to have the great United States Naval Academy that is here today. One of the great institutions of the United States of America. We're also privileged to have St. John's College, the third oldest university or college in the United States of America, only behind Harvard and William and Mary. So we have always been an area of education, arts, and the beautiful waterfront that combines the gateway to the Chesapeake Bay. And as I will say to the mayor and the city councilman, you are the trustees and the caretakers of that. Your job is to take the threads of the past and merge it into the energy and imagination of the future, to take Annapolis to the next level, to leave it a better place than when you found it. And I know the mayors that are sitting behind me and have been introduced, they have all done that. They've all left their mark on the city of Annapolis. And I do want to take one moment to acknowledge Mike Panelides because of his hard work in the transition to make it smooth for Gavin Buckley and his staff to take over. And so with that, I want to thank you for including me, Mr. Mayor. I want to congratulate everyone. And remember, you're the caretakers. These are the people that elected you. You are to respond to them. The key to being successful is to listen to the citizens of Annapolis because they have the energy and the ideas, and you can bring them together. Once again, thank you very much. Thanks for everybody being here today. Bye-bye.
If one really wishes to know how justice is administered in a country, one does not question the policemen, the lawyers, the judges, or the protected members of the middle class. One goes to the unprotected, those precisely who need the law's protection most, and listens to their testimony. One of the most remarkable things about Gavin's campaign was how many people were involved. and how many ways there were for people to get involved. It speaks to Gavin's ability to identify the various ways that people from all walks of life, from all corners of Annapolis, and all areas surrounding, could get together and get involved. So many people, in fact, that it would be almost unfair for me to stand here and try to list or name individuals or groups. It would probably take all afternoon into the night, because that many people were involved in the movement that brings us all here today. And mind you, that movement was never based on one individual's perspective. Even Gavin's campaign included people that traditionally wouldn't even be involved in that process. Whether you were a die-hard Gavin fan, showing up at every event with your blue t-shirt, whether you were out there getting out the vote by knocking on doors and meeting new people in the city of Annapolis that had never been met or never been touched before, or whether you were posting on social media, hosting a house party, or even giving Gavin's a thumbs up when he walked by on the street. This moment right here is for you. This moment is for all of us. But what is most inspiring about Gavin's achievement is not necessarily the fact that he's been elected to be mayor of this city, but it is what he did during the process of achieving office. The fact that he showed us that negativity and the possibility of becoming something that you dream of are two entirely different things. Because from day one, this man who comes from an entirely different continent consistently said that everything he is doing is for the people of Annapolis. I've marveled personally at Gavin's ability to not necessarily reject criticism, but to weather the storm of criticism and weather the storm of chaos and weather the storm of division to smoothly move into where we are right now, which is together. And if you look around, I challenge you all to turn around and look around at your neighbors. Look around. That's pretty awesome, right? It's pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome. And there's nothing wrong with acknowledging it. It's pretty awesome. So when we speak about Gavin's ability to weather this storm, what comes to my mind as a person who considers himself somewhat of a writer and poet are words that were written by Socrates that sum up the tone throughout the journey that led to today's ceremonies. The secret to change is to focus all of your energy, not on fighting the old, but on building the new. So we all talk about, there we go. So we all talk about the eclectic business ventures that have changed the landscape of this very street that we stand on and up around the corner. But his indisputable impact on the political landscape and the energized and eclectic campaign he ran has awakened our city, our hearts, and our minds. Please welcome the 137th mayor of the great city of Annapolis, Mr. Gavin Buckley. All right, hold on. Mr. Buckley will be sworn in by the clerk of the circuit court, Mr. Duckworth.
Gavin, are you ready to be mayor?
I am ready.
Okay.
And cold.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me your oath of office before all these people. I, Gavin Buckley,
I, Gavin Buckley,
do declare and affirm
do declare and affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will be faithful
that I will be faithful
and bear true allegiance
and bear true allegiance
to the state of Maryland,
to the state of Maryland,
and support the Constitution
and support the Constitution
and laws thereof,
and laws thereof,
and that I will,
and that I will,
to the best of my skill and judgment,
to the best of my skill and judgment,
diligently and faithfully,
diligently and faithfully,
without partiality or prejudice,
without partiality or prejudice,
execute the office of
execute the office of
Mayor of the City of Annapolis,
Mayor of the City of Annapolis,
according to the Constitution and laws of this state,
according to the Constitution and laws of this state,
and the Charter and Code of the City of Annapolis.
and the Charter and Code of the City of Annapolis.
Ladies and gentlemen, here's your new mayor.
I'm shaking a little bit here.
At this moment, as I look out into the crowd, again, we could be here all day naming all of the incredibly influential people in this great city that we live in. I do want to acknowledge those in the audience who are policymakers, those who hold office, and who are officials. Will you please stand so that we can acknowledge you? Thank you all very much. And now the moment we've all been waiting for. Mayor Gavin Buckley.
All right. Right. So, this is what is amazing about this country. This is what's amazing about this city. And this is what's amazing about the democratic process. That a guy with a funny accent like this can come into town with a couple of $100 in his pocket, open a coffee shop, and then 25 years later be the 137th mayor of Annapolis. Now, I will be speaking from notes, which is something I never do, but I've been warned. So I'm going to start out by saying that none of this would be possible without an amazing partner and wife. And my family, my poor wife has been a single mother for the last year. And I don't know how anyone can run for office without the perfect partner, and I have the perfect partner. Can we hear it for my wife, please? After that, I want to thank Catherine Burke, because she invented this. So this event was the brainchild of Catherine Burke from the Collection Gallery, which is at the other end of the block. I urge you all to go in after the inauguration and buy a painting. I want to thank my mum. She just got in from Australia at 10 o'clock last night, so she might be asleep. She is sitting there with my amazing mother-in-law, and I'm so lucky to have two great mums. But my mum was a single mum. I grew up in a house with my grandma and my auntie and a lot of love. So I'm a lucky guy for all that. So thank you, Mum. And I just have to clap for my amazing campaign team. I mean, we had the best volunteers. To everyone out there who waved a sign, who threw a party, who bought $1 or just brought a vote to an event, thank you. You have made this day possible. It would not be possible without you, so I owe you for the rest of my life. Thank you so much. And a special thanks has to go to Scott Travis. Scott Travis, my campaign manager. And he is here making his mum proud as well, because she's with him too. Scott had never been a campaign manager. I'd never been a candidate. And we put on a great show, but it wouldn't have been possible without Scott putting up with me. So thank you, Scott. And Scott has a great future. I can't wait to see what you do next. Anybody who's run for office knows that the most important person in your campaign is your treasurer. My campaign manager, Jane Ruska, it is the most thankless work you can do. You work your fingers to the bone for no money, and you put your marriage at risk because you have to put too much time into the event. And Jane, I love you and thank you. I have to give a quick special shout out to Kate and Michael on my digital team. They're a couple of techies that came in from Australia, and I didn't mention them last time. They're in the audience somewhere. They work with Brack, but I can't tell you where they are because they'll have to kill you. I want to thank Mike Panelides. I want to thank Mike's family. And I want to thank all of Mike's supporters. Mike has been a class act through the whole campaign. He has made me a better person. I am looking forward to reaching out to him for advice as I move through the next 4 years. So thank you so much, Mike. To the members of the City Council that I just had my picture taken with, I am so excited to work with you. There is so much talent here. There's so much creativity, so much brain power. We are so excited to serve you. Thank you for helping me get to where I am. I couldn't have done it without you. Thank you so much. Now, when I sailed into this town 25 years ago and I started that coffee shop, what I loved about the town is you could step off your boat and walk up Main Street, and within 1 week, someone was tooting their horn because they knew you. Within 2 weeks, you'd walk into a bar and you'd know the guy playing guitar. And within 3 weeks, they'd know your drink. And I thought, I love this place. What a great village. But our global village is broken. We are so polarized as a country. We have to stop hating one another just because we vote for a different party. You shouldn't surround yourself with people that just think like you. I am looking forward to bringing new ideas to this city with the county executive, with the governor. We all need to work together. I truly believe that it is going to be on the local level that we are going to heal the country and come together as one. Because the people standing behind me are the ones who are going to be standing up for the environment, standing up for the arts, standing up for other people. Who you choose in your local elections has never been more important than now, and I thank you for coming out and voting for that. Now, we all love this town, and when you stand at the top of Main Street, you look down at the water and you fall in love. But after a little while in Annapolis, you fall out a little bit out of love because you don't feel any love back from your city. I am going to bring the love back. I'm going to bring the love back by focusing on three things: the economy, the environment, and our community. On the economy, I have a record to run on. This West Street, you know what West Street was like. I like to say we've come from red light district to arts district. West Street was a different place. Yesterday, there were 20,000 people that came here for a chocolate festival. There was times when people wouldn't even park their car at the wrong end of the block because they thought we had high crime statistic in this area. And we turned it around by making a street for locals, making a street for people that live here and taking care of the population first and the tourists second. I love tourists, but when you take care of people that live here first, everybody wins. And what we did is we created partnerships, and we worked, and what I can do is bring people together. I am so looking forward to working with the Academy. We have a college here that produces the future leaders of the world. I am going to strengthen our bonds with the Academy. Thank you, Admiral Carter. I am so looking forward to strengthening those bonds. We also have St. John's College. And Pano, thank you so much for being on the stage with us. St. John's College produces future leaders of the world, winemakers, filmmakers, financial people, and music people that people don't even know about. There's two guys that went to St. John's College that started Atlantic Records and Elektra Records. Those two labels signed the soundtrack of the last century, the labels of these two guys. They signed the Doors, the Rolling Stones, Aretha Franklin, Ray Charles, Stevie Wonder on labels of two guys that went to school in this town. We have to let people know that they went on to greatness, not in spite of Annapolis, but because of Annapolis. We need a defining music festival. Our South by Southwest. We need a music festival that celebrates Cars Beach and WANN. Because for 3 decades, the coolest people in the planet came here. From the Supremes through to Hendrix, actually knew where Annapolis was. James Brown came here a dozen times. We need to get that history back, and people need to know about our musical roots. On the environment, we should be leaders in green technology. We should be working with the Historic District and the Historic Boards to integrate green technology into rehabilitation. We all come here because of the water. We love Annapolis because of the water. But because the water is our greatest asset, but it could also be our greatest threat. You see cities far further behind the 8 ball turn their waterways around by citizen involvement. We are going to make Spar Creek, Back Creek, Wims Creek no discharge zones so that we have pristine water, so that people want to come from Washington, D.C. and get on a paddleboard in Spar Creek and paddle up to Pusses and have a painkiller, because that's what I like. You know I care about bike paths. Some of you might have had the fortune of seeing me in Lycra. I'm going to connect our bike paths, because a bike path is not only an amenity for your city, but it's also a way to get to a job. It's a way to mobilize communities. So we're going to make a priority of that, and I know Steve cares a lot about that stuff too. I'm going to usher in an era of civic investment. We need to work with the private sector on creating opportunities that can work to find partnerships for resiliency solutions. On the community, This is the last one. We can't be a great community until we make a great community for everybody. This theme is about one Annapolis. My kids go to public school. It is a moral imperative that we stop our public school system reflecting the prison system. We have white supremacy on the rise nationally. We see MS-13 rearing its head. We have disenfranchised youth. We have to get involved. We can't use the excuse that, oh, the counties run the school. We can't use the excuse that the federal government control public housing. They might do that, but we feed it. It's our kids, it's our citizens, and I'm going to roll up my sleeves and make sure that we fix things. West Street has been successful because of you, because it's been inclusive, because it looks like this crowd here. I would be remiss in mentioning the arts community. I campaigned on that. So behind me, we have the history. And this art piece here is an amazing piece that was painted yesterday with Jeff Huntington. So Jeff Huntington took a dozen kids from the community, and yesterday when 20,000 people were on the street, these kids were busy painting this mural and behind us. And so that's the history behind us. This is our history. And behind me is our history, and behind you is our future. The mural on tsunami. We have to embrace our history, but we shouldn't get stuck in it. So Ben Franklin is one of the signers of the Declaration of Independence, but we had 4 signers of the Declaration of Independence who had homes in this town. And those signers of the Declaration of Independence, those guys were progressives. They were forward thinkers. They started the greatest social experiment in the world. We have to look forward. We have to look to new ideas. And those new ideas I'm going to grow the city with. I'm going to make this city an arts destination. I'm going to make this city a gastronomic destination and an amazing historic destination and a sailing destination. We can be a lot of things at one time. So I'm a little nervous here, so thank you very much for putting up with it. So I just want to close with this. When I first came to town, when I first got off that boat with $200 in my pocket, and when I got that job as a waiter at Middleton's Tavern, and when I saw that vacant shop behind Middleton's Tavern, I decided to do a coffee shop. And my girlfriend at the time, who is now my wife, gave me a little card for encouragement. And that card was an Oscar Wilde quote. And that quote said something like this, just in case I didn't get it quite right. It said, "Yes, I am a dreamer, for a dreamer makes his way by moonlight and sees the dawn before the rest of the world." I'm asking you to dream with me and make this one Annapolis. Thank you.
Go Devils!